Hi, my name is Noah Meir. I'm the CEO of the Charney Forum for New Diplomacy. With us today is Professor Ron Robin, President of the University of Haifa. The University of Haifa is the largest comprehensive research university in northern Israel. I'd love if you could please share with us your vision for the university and the place of universities in community, both in Israel and globally.
So the vision for the university, we call it multiversity. The concept of the multiversity is threefold. One of the most important concept probably is the combination of disciplines around problem solving. Today's challenges, like the one we're facing right now, cannot be solved by one discipline. It can only be solved by combinations of disciplines. The second aspect of the multiversity is its outreach. No longer a city on a hill, no longer an ivory tower, but a university that has a presence in the community, both in Haifa and in the north. And the third aspect of the multiversity, and one which I think is pertinent to the New Diplomacy program, is the fact that the entire tapestry of Israeli society is represented at the university. All the different tribes making up our society find their place at the university. We see our mission as broadening the middle class and allowing everyone, Jews, Arabs, religious, secular, rich, poor, everyone to be part of this wonderful adventure at the university.
Can I ask you to elaborate a bit about how you feel that the multi-university corresponds with the Charney Forum for New Diplomacy?
I think the multiversity corresponds perfectly with the Charney program for New Diplomacy. It's a perfect fit. Today, diplomacy is no longer a bunch of people who sitting in a room talking to one another over governmental issues. New diplomacy suggests, as you well know, a disruption of formats. And in this conversation, in this dialogue between nations, everyone participates. NGOs, different organizations, universities, for example. It is a plethora of conversations, and that's what happens at universities. Universities are able to moderate this type of conversation between nations and between cultures, and I think this is a perfect fit with the program.
So touching upon that, what advantage do you think that the Charney Forum for New Diplomacy has as a hybrid of academia and a hands-on program?
The catchword today is hybridity. There's no doubt about it that everything that works is hybrid. We teach in a hybrid manner, sometimes online and sometimes face-to-face. New diplomacy means that sometimes nations or their official representatives will negotiate, but on other times it will be unofficial and will be private individuals, or it will be other organizations. This is what we do at the university. We prepare people for a global world and an ability to collaborate and converse across borders and across cultures.
So moving on to discuss the implications of the coronavirus. What do you think possible implications are on globalization and diplomacy? We still have a ways to go, but as you see it now.
Well, I think that new diplomacy will play a perfect role in getting out of this particular crisis of the coronavirus right now. Over the years, we've had this uneasy truce with viruses dating back to 1918, to the Spanish flu. And the only way to combat viruses like the coronaviruses, and I'm sure there will be more on the horizon, is through international collaboration. This can't be done only at the level of government. It has to be done at multiple levels. And this is just the first of many crises which new diplomacy, I think, can get involved in. Straight after the coronavirus, we can expect economic crisis in which everybody will play a role, not only governments. After that, there will be an environmental crisis, which has been hovering on the horizon for a long, long time. And I'm sure there'll be many other aspects of crisis that will need international collaboration. And it's the new diplomacy using multiple forms of communication, multiple bodies in exchanging information, which I think will allow us to leave this crisis, to exit this crisis in a manner which will serve humanity writ large.
So speaking of those implications, do you foresee a weakening of government and alongside a strengthening of non-government actors, such as the civil society, as a result of the coronavirus?
We are already witnessing a weakness of government. This has not happened right now. It's happened over the course of the last 15 years. To begin with, we've seen the decline of the political class. many people who used to go into politics choose other venues for collaboration right now. So I do see a weakening of the presence of governments and a growing presence of other bodies collaborating across borders and between countries and between cultures.
Every crisis also serves as an opportunity. What are a few potential opportunities that you identify at this point as a result of the coronavirus?
And I think what this crisis suggests to us that globalization has to be different. Today, when we talk about globalization, we mostly talk about it in economic spheres, about multinationals, about the role of economics in bringing nations together. I think what this particular crisis we're going through right now suggests that the concept of globalization needs to be broadened, and it needs to include many more actors besides governments and economic actors. And this is where I think the program comes into play.
So final question, what steps do you think we can take as a society in order to increase our resilience at such a time of crisis?
I think it is mostly through collaborative efforts. There's going to be, I'm pretty sure, an instinct to recoil from collaboration, from globalization. People are going to close off borders, just as we're doing right now for health reasons. That's going to spill over into politics, and it's going to spill over into culture. And I see that as a major impetus for solving future crises. This is one of the roles that the New Diplomacy program is going to have to play. It will have to break down barriers, because barriers are going to be forced upon us now by state actors for sometimes health reasons and sometimes for political reasons. And it is the mission of this program, as it is the mission of universities, to break down barriers and increase collaboration across any divide that you can think of, whether it's cultural, religious. A crisis is an opportunity. Let's change the way we do things. Let's take care of the less fortunate in a more comprehensive manner. Let's increase dialogue between cultures and not scream at each other. Let's change a paradigm in the way we interact. And I think that would be my message for the future. And I'm sure that's the message of the Charney program for New Diplomacy as well.